spotted low-rise jeans at the Fall 2020 Gucci fashion show. Looks like the millennial generation is about to start another rivalry with the younger Gen Zs. But not to worry, dear viewers. Sometimes everyone wins in love and war.
Yes, you heard it right. Low-rise jeans are actually back. At first it was just talk, but now we're actually seeing it in stores and online, and people are starting to wear it in their everyday lives. Except at Express, because once they start offering low-rise jeans, then you know the trend is back. So let's talk about this misunderstood trend, why you should be happy it's here, and what we do with it next. Which is not about styling it, because what I have to say is much more important and complex than that. So let's talk about this misunderstood trend. According to Wikipedia, the first low-rise jeans appeared in the form of hip huggers in 1957 by Irene Kasmer. They became big in the 60s and 70s and then reappeared in the early 2000s in a form that many of us know all too well. And in the early 2000s, it became more of a skinny trend, that it was a look that a lot of celebrities were pulling off and that you could really only pull off if you were a size 0. If you weren't a size 0, the terms you heard a lot were muffin tops and love handles, both terms I didn't learn until I tried low-rise jeans myself. And this is why millennials and so many others fear low-rise jeans, but I'm gonna tell you why you shouldn't. Now, I would argue, in my humble and honest opinion that I put out on the internet, that the actual trend of low-rise jeans isn't the jeans themselves, it's the skin that peeks out over top. That strip of midriff between your jeans and your top, just below your belly button, is the actual trend. And it's completely understandable why this trend is so problematic. Women have uteruses, we have organs, and that's a really important area for our body to not be completely flat. And don't even get me started about whether or not you've eaten at the time of evaluation of your flat belly. So we have to call into question, is it the jeans themselves or what we're wearing with them? Because this way of styling is much more intimidating and body dysmorphia inducing than this way. But the rise of the jean and the jean themselves hasn't changed. And the thing is, high-rise has a similar issue. But with high-rise, you're exposing your midriff above your belly button rather than below, which some would argue is a little bit easier to pull off. But given the huge resurgence of crop tops and bra tops over the years with high-rise pants, it's hard to argue that the trendy look isn't showing off your midriff in some way. It may feel more accessible to expose the skin above your belly button rather than below, but still, the trend is exposing part of your midriff, which not all of us are really that into, making the trend showing off your stomach to some degree. Hear me out. If you are looking to expose your midriff in your look, then your rise really matters, right? But if you're not looking to, which I feel like most of the time, most of us aren't looking to expose our midriff, then which rise do you choose? You have to think about the outfit you're creating and the top. Are you going to be tucking it in? Does it need to be tucked in? Where do you want the jeans to fall in your entire look? Or pants, you could put pants in here too. And usually the answer is wherever they look best. And that definition is going to be different depending on your body's proportions. So the standard piece of advice is if you have shorter legs, then higher rise jeans make your legs look longer, because whatever your jeans cover are going to make that part of your body look like it's part of your legs. So by having a high rise, it lengthens your shorter legs and brings both your upper body and your lower body kind of more into proportion. Now, if you have the opposite and if you have longer legs and a shorter torso, then the standard piece of advice is the opposite. That's right, low-rise jeans. Now, does that mean it needs to be the super slung low-rise jeans that exposes everything below your belly button and just before your underwear? No. As a short torso, long leg person myself, low-rise jeans actually just look like mid-rise jeans on me, unless they're like micro-rise jeans, which I think should be their whole other category. And yes, this is somewhat of a self-serving video, because when there are low-rise jeans, I get to lengthen my torso. I have plenty of legs to feel like I have long legs, but what I don't have is that long torso that makes me look like my body is imbalanced. Speaking of low-rise jeans, what is a low-rise jean? The unofficial official standard is that there isn't an official standard. But that doesn't mean there aren't a lot of guidelines that overlap each other in very confusing ways. For example, I made a little dig at Express at the beginning of this video because this is their guide to rises on jeans on their website. Notice that low rise isn't even an option. They do give measurements, which is highly interesting because I find them weirdly specific. 12.25 inch hitting at your natural waist is super high-waisted. 11.25 inch will hit at your belly button, and 10.25 will hit below your belly button, which is mid-rise. I can guarantee you those measurements do not hit everyone's belly button in the exact same way. But even with that, let's water this down and say super high-waisted is 12, high-waisted is 11, and mid-rise is 10. Now let's go over to Madewell. They have broken down many more of their rises, which I appreciate, in much more whole numbers. But still, we have low at 8 inches, mid at 9 inches. Wait, wasn't Express 10 inches for a mid-rise? Well, according to Madewell, their 10 inches is a high-rise. So what am I supposed to buy? And Madewell is saying that 10 inches is going to hit at my navel, but Express is saying that 10 inches is going to hit below my navel. Okay, maybe that's just one example. Maybe others it's just a lot more congruent, right? Let's go to Abercrombie. Unfortunately, Abercrombie doesn't put their rise measurements in the sizing and fit section. So much information about the inseams and the leg openings. And again, those inseams can be easily changed for the shorter. But even in scrolling down, I am seeing multiple comments that these low-rise jeans are actually not low rise. And then even going to Nordstrom, where I feel like they're a little bit more at mercy to whatever they're given as far as measurements, I do like that they tend to mostly have their measurements listed on what the rise is, but for some of them, they'll label them two different things, as if admitting that the rise is going to be different based off of your body type, but never actually saying what the cutoff is, and if you fall in between those 2 points, what that means it's going to be for you. So if we want all body shapes to be able to find jeans and pants that fit them, then we need rises that are accessible to all. Over these last few years, as high-rise jeans have been like the popular jean, the easiest to find jean, it's been really hard for me to find ones that work for me. I've had to create cheats and shortcuts, and I'm constantly talking about them in my videos for short torso body types like mine. And when I do happen to find jeans that work, I feel like people are always asking me about them, and by the time some people find it, it's been sold out and it's last year's products. To the point where I don't like to order jeans or pants, or whenever I see someone talking about a trendy pant, I just feel like I can't even listen to it because I automatically see that rise and I know it's gonna come up right underneath my bust. And for the past few years, I've really felt on the periphery when it comes to outfits and trends that involve high-rise pants or jeans, because I just know that that's gonna cover my whole torso, and the spirit of that trend and the look of that trend isn't going to translate for my body type. And it's taken years, but I finally found myself in a healthy place where I can blame the trends and the fashion industry instead of my own body. And so what gets labeled as a mid-rise jean actually looks like a high-rise jean on me and can look like the high-rise trend. But if I want a mid-rise jean, just a standard plain mid-rise jean, not trying to look trendy, I need to find a low-rise jean. And I haven't been able to find any for years. But if you don't have the same body type as mine and the low-rise jean isn't your answer to a lot of things, then I want you to be able to find jeans that you want to wear too. You see, the rise that fits your body is different for everyone. Just like inseams, if you have shorter legs, you'll want a shorter inseam. If you are taller with longer legs, you'll want a longer inseam. Have you noticed that inseams are not a trend? And yet rises are. But if we had all rises available to us all the time, then we could participate in any of those trends at any given moment. But instead, the jeans that were offered are considered the trendy options. But you don't see inseams being trends. Like, oh, look, super long inseams are in. Everybody go run and get super long inseams. And you know what? The thing is too, inseams can be hemmed. It is a very inexpensive, very easy change to take to a tailor if you love a pair of jeans. Rises, on the other hand, are very difficult and very expensive to take to a tailor, and oftentimes can be impossible to tailor depending on what the rise is originally and what you're trying to change it into, because you can't always just create fabric. So what do we do now? I'm so glad you asked, because I have 4 things. The first one, let low-rise jeans come back. Frankly, all this outcry ever since that first whisper has really, I think, slowed down the low-rise jean trend coming back. But now that we're seeing celebrities wear it, we're seeing it on the red carpet, a lot of Gen Zers are wearing it on TikTok, just let it come back. For those of us who are excited about low-rise jeans coming back, those who want it will buy it, which will show retailers and brands that it's serving a market. I'm not saying low-rise jeans is for everyone, but the fact that it is offered is something that's good for everyone. The second thing, if you like high-rise jeans, if those are your favorite, those are the ones that work for you, then please keep buying those. Use your dollars, use your buying power to show those same brands and retailers that there's still an audience for high-rise jeans and for high-rise pants. We can have both at the same time. We can live in harmony, high-rise and low-rise, and everything in between, mid-rise. Let them all be together and let us all do our own decisions in deciding what trends to participate in and whether or not we are going to show off our midriffs to even matter. And the reason I say this is because skinny jeans have been out for a little bit, and yet now with low-rise jeans coming back, I've been seeing a lot of jeggings. I'm not a jeggings fan, but despite how some people have said absolutely no jeggings, absolutely no skinny jeans, they are still being offered because people are still buying it. So the same will go for high-rise jeans, and if we're lucky, if we're successful, then eventually all kinds of jeans will be sold at all moments of the hour and day and season, and it won't matter as much. Number 3, separate the jean trend from the midriff trend. The term low-rise can be triggering for a lot of people, and I totally get it. I'm not a fan of showing off my lower abdomen. I'm not a fan of showing off any part of my abdomen, and that's okay with me. The one piece of knowledge that I think everyone should know, everybody, like if this is the only thing you take from this video, it would make my day, is that the only thing that matters when it comes to what we've been talking about in this video, like we're not getting existential here, is for you to take a tape measure and measure from your crotch to where you want the top of your pants to come. Wherever it makes the most sense for you. For most of us, it's about just below our belly button. It's about a mid-rise, technically, but not for everyone. Some of our belly buttons are really high up and some of them are really low down. Down low. So measure it, write it down, know how many hand lengths there is, or if it's between your thumb and your pinky, so that when you're out shopping, when you're trying on pants, you can tell whether or not that rise is going to work on your body. Kind of the nice thing about high, middle, and low not being like officially measured at a certain range is that you don't have all of the sizing things that can mess with your mind about, oh, am I a small size or am I a big size? It actually doesn't matter at all. It's just, here's the measurement that looks best on me, and like, here, I'm gonna go try to find that rise somewhere until you do, and you find ones that are in the right shape and the right rinse. Like, who cares what it's labeled? I have tried on things that are labeled one thing and they look like a totally different thing on me. I do not care what it is labeled as. I just want it to look good on me. Number 4, for those of us who experienced this trend in the early 2000s and went through all those body image issues of the low-rise jeans, it's time for us to be the big sister to Gen Z. I went onto TikTok and I saw how they were styling it, and it is all about showing off your lower midriff. And so in being that big sister, there's 3 things. 1, they're gonna call us old, and I'm okay with that. 2, if they wanna wear it, let them. Like, they're young. If they love it, let them wear it. But I'm going to bet there's a lot more Gen Zers that don't love it than who do. And they're going through that same experience of trying to figure out low-rise jeans and learning all those same words that we learned when we first started trying to do it. All of that history is about to repeat itself unless we support them. I feel like as a big sister myself, I am at a point where I am shopping for my body shape and not necessarily what the trend world is telling me to think of my body shape, because what the trends are. And there's a lot that nobody told me about my body shape that I wish I'd known sooner. So let me tell you, that video is right here for you to watch. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I can't wait to see you over here in this video and in my next. Bye.